damn son, you roll them hog legs. And that's what they were.
What's going on, y'all? This is Paranoid Grower. I have a special guest today. This man is a true legend. He is the breeder of OutKast Genetics, a Texas star that shines bright. There's a saying in the South, it don't take a genius to spot a goat in a flock of sheep. Well, sir, you definitely are a goat. OutKast, welcome to the show.
Hey, welcome. I don't know if I'd go as far as to saying those. That's a stretch, man. I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate even on 420 today. Hell,
I know. Happy 420, man.
Happy 420, bro.
This is awesome. So glad you're here with me today. What are we smoking on today, sir?
So I just got done wolfing down a joint of RG13, and then what else was it this morning? Oh, it was some of that stuff I ended up with from Hash Bash. It was some flower from up there, some Red Pop.
Is that the one that y'all got from that one guy that we talked about?
Yeah, that I talked to for a long time, that little syndicate of breeders. Yeah.
Okay.
I ended up grabbing an ounce of that and bringing it back home and trying it out. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. It's all there. It's good. I mean, when you smell those terps, you know what it is.
Damn right. I'm smoking. It's actually a mix. I've actually been smoking for like the last. I know I made some of these joints for you at a Hash Bash, but it's the blueberry sauce F3 from Green Guy Genetics, the tangy CBG, and Dogathon CBD from Alabrije Genetics.
Oh yeah, I mean, mad props to both those guys, and I mean, I can't say enough about, I don't want to interrupt you, but we can go down that road. Mad props to you, man. You opened my eyes to a lot of things when we were up there. The whole joints in a circle, I've been privy to that my whole life, but not that many at one time with that few of people. And then to have the CBD mix inside of it, it really leveled things out where things were manageable. And I appreciate that, man. It was an awesome experience.
Hell yeah. Well, actually, we'll go ahead and get on the subject while we're at it. We got to meet up at Hash Bash 2025 in Ann Arbor, Michigan this year. And since we're on the subject, I'd like to get your experience with the Hash Bash.
Oh, once in a lifetime, unique experience. I would say if you haven't ever been, go. But it wasn't really about the bash and the festival itself to me. I mean, personally, it was about meeting all the gromies in the community that we've been a part of for the last, 4 to 5 years or better. Been listening to y'all, watching everybody, watching everybody's, not say career, but their hobbies that they've made a career into their own, that everybody has advanced their game so far. And to meet everybody face to face was a one of a kind, unique, special thing to me. To see everybody there and to see, I'm telling you, you go to Hash Bash, it's a cool event. It's a one-time thing to see. If you've never seen a free market, open farmers market, that's it. But forget the flower at the market. Forget it. You go back to the house. That's where all the gear is. And you see everybody's best gear that they brought, and there is literally jars of it everywhere. It's like a kid at a candy store, and everything there was by far and above anything that you go purchase on a commercial market per se.
For sure. Dude, you're not wrong. Those are 100% facts. You just spit out. Like, everything at the house, to me, is definitely higher quality than what you're going to get at the Cup. I mean, there's a few odd and end people at the Cup. You're going to get some good stuff, and maybe a few dispensaries around town, but the high quality is right there at the house where all the homegrown's at.
Oh yeah, definitely. I said I brought back an ounce. That was 1 ounce out of that whole entire cup that I was even interested in, because I talked to that guy, I wanted to support him. It wasn't like the flower was just going to blow your socks off. I mean, it's good flower, granted, don't get me wrong, but anything I had at the house beats it hands down. It beats it. I mean, it was a unique experience, I will say, for me to sit in a circle. And I think I went over this last time, but I was really, really high when I was on the podcast last time. It was I swear it was 19 joints in 13 minutes, dab hits, and then hitting the cheese pipe afterwards. And man, it was a whole different level. It was a different level. Thoroughly enjoyed.
Well, we could break it down. I know you had the longest distance out of the whole crew that came to Hash Bash.
18 and a half hours from here in Little Texas. We cruised up through all the states, the mid 48, I would say, and made our way up to Ann Arbor. And it was a 2-day trip, but it was worth it. Definitely worth it. I'd do it all over again to meet all the people that I met. Right.
And you actually met some Gromies on the way and traveled up together. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right. I picked up 417 grows. Me, him, and Backwoods Poet met in Missouri. Got together from there, and we cruised on up through Illinois and skipped Indiana. We just kind of went through a little bit and cruised on across to Michigan.
Right.
And it's kind of about the same tolerance as Texas. You got to kind of stay away from those places.
Oh, I completely understand that, dude. I'm right in the state that has, no legalization. So yeah, it sucks.
You love the state, you love the beauty, you love the country, and you love the people around it. It's just you wish the legislatures would get their damn heads out of their asses and get things moving forward.
Oh my God, yes, that is such a true statement, sir. Absolutely. Y'all actually stayed in Ann Arbor, right near the campus.
It was a 2-story crib that had 3 or 4 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, I believe. It had 3 bedrooms and a couple bathrooms in it. But it was right there, not 2 blocks from the campus. A little bitty, it was like I would say somebody's college house. You would see, I could see 3 college students staying there all the time. But it was rented out Airbnb or VRBO, and we hit it up, and it was a pleasant stay. It was just not even a half-mile walk to the Monroe Street Fair, and we'd hitch a ride or we'd get in the car and go on out to the Cup, which was a little ways out, and y'all were a little ways from us, but it was worth meeting up, man. It was like a 10-minute drive. It wasn't nothing.
Yeah, we got lucky. We were only like a half a mile from the Cup. So if you wanted to go to the house and go to the Cup, it was just right across the interstate.
Yeah.
Super convenient. And really, Ann Arbor isn't that big of a town. So if you're doing Uber and it's only like a 10, 15-minute drive max anyways.
Yep.
So it's not too bad.
No, it's not that big of a town, but definitely it's all college town for sure.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, y'all ended up coming over to our the Hash Bash house, that we called it, on Friday night.
Yes.
And like you mentioned earlier, sitting on the circle out on the back deck.
Yeah, that's a whole new invention of a circle. I mean, I might have called it an oval because that shit was like NASCAR speed loop. Them joints going. It wasn't a circle. It was an oval.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure people have heard before, but Hash Bash, we usually get a big circle going, and anytime one joint goes out, 2 or 3 get lit, and it just kind of keeps on flowing. And but luckily we were inside because it was pretty chilly this year, unfortunately. But yeah, I know you got some pictures, and I got some pictures of us chiefing out on the back deck.
Hotbox and B-reels going in competition with the car there for sure. That's the back porch.
Yeah. Then what did we call it? It was our oxygen room, where there was no smoke inside the house, but we were allowed to do dabs. And so we were doing dabs and smoking hash inside the house. And you actually got an experience to smoke Badger's hash.
Yeah, Badger, can't say enough about the man. I mean, I met Badger, in person. Everything lived up to the legend, right? So the hash was phenomenal. It was Super Sun God, and then we peeled off, and he had some burnt peanuts flour rosin that was really, really nice as well. I mean, that one made me lightheaded, but I'm telling you, whenever you get the SS, man, it's like it hits you, it brightens up your day. I'll say that. It's like the sun gets brighter, everything just gets brighter, and you're awake. You are lit up.
Yeah, that ain't a joke. I know we smoked it that night, and I told you before, but after everybody left on Friday night, I ended up staying up, like writing notes for the both podcasts. I was like, my mind would just go, and I was like, man, I got all these great ideas. Yeah, so every time I smoke that hash, that's how it is for me.
Yeah, it does it to you, man. I fully enjoyed it. I was really appreciative of the fact that he brought that and shared it amongst us, and that everybody was so freely giving as far as the community itself, the close knit bunch that's all there. Of course, that's the open invitation to everybody that's grown me out there. But everybody who had made it, man, it was nothing but love, and makes you believe in humankind again whenever you get together with grumbies like that, bro.
Oh,
For real.
fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, absolutely. I know you got to meet BGG that evening as well. That was like the first time y'all met in person.
Yeah, face to face. We've talked several times on the phone, and we've texted back and forth, me and BGG, through the years. And that's the first time I got to meet in person. And he's as every bit as awesome as what you see him on video chats and everything else. He's a good dude, and I can't say enough about him.
Yeah,
Big shout out to BGG.
absolutely. On a Saturday, we ended up meeting up at the Hash Bash rally at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor at the Diag. I know we got out there a little early. We started watching Tommy Chong,
Chong. Yeah.
right? And then y'all came up right there, right near the end when Tommy Chong was
Yep.
finishing up. Luckily, Green Guy, he actually had grown out your Reaper's raspberry and had him in joints. That was such a cool moment, being able to smoke your flower that he grew at the rally at the Diag while
With me,
watching
yeah.
Tommy Chong.
Yeah.
I was like, what in the world is going on? I'm like, this is a really cool moment.
All these points in the dimension come together at once.
Yeah, it was strange. It was so cool. Like I was so glad to experience it. Like I see 417 Grows, Backwoods Poet, Matt Fratt, Back Nine
Yeah.
Bandit 420. We were all out there just in chiefing.
Yeah, and I mean,
raspberry.
I will say this time and again. I said it to Sean. I mean, going to that cup was one thing, but going to that house and meeting all you people face to face, I've been so humbled and so gracious for the kindness that has been extended to me. You people don't understand. I mean, everybody in the community, once you're a part of it and you meet each other, you just got to understand the love and the admiration for each one of these people that I have. Everybody out there, including yourself, I've watched you advance and you've grown so much. And I mean, your podcast, everything. I've just watched Paranoid grow, and it's so cool to be a part of all this and just watch it take place.
Right. I appreciate you saying that, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's real cool. And I mean, it's like you said, you have these unique moments where you all meet and the universes align and the stars are aligned. And it's like, boom, we smoke a joint at the Diag on Hash Bash. Who would have ever thought that would ever happen?
I know. Yeah. Same, dude. I know.
And to have BGG grow my gear out. And I'm like, damn, dude, I'm honored. Completely
Right.
floored. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did one up on me, man.
Yeah. That was an awesome moment. Not long after that, we ended up walking around the vendors right there at the rally and walked across campus and went down to the Monroe Street Fair.
Yep.
And checked out some of those vendors out. And then you actually, we were looking at different seed vendors because I was wanting to buy some seeds. And there was one point right when we were about to split up, and you mentioned, you're like, hey, you need to talk to that dude down there. And it was Blue Star Seed Co.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me give you a little bit of history on that. I didn't get to give it to you at the cup, so I'll give it to you now.
Yeah, go for it.
So a long time ago, I'm talking, man, it was 2019, 2020, somewhere in there. It was right before COVID. It was before COVID. It might have been 2018, 2019, somewhere in there. He was really breeding a lot of DJ Short's blueberry. And that's what he's known for. He apparently got a cut of it a long time ago, and he's used it in a lot of his strains. And I'd gotten some of his gear through a giveaway. It was Insta Blue, I believe, was what the name of the strain was. I grew it out, and I was blown away by it. I was like, man, his gear's pretty damn good. So I started looking into him and doing more research on him. And he's an older gentleman. And when you look at all of his gear, everything lines up. It's like, it's good. It's real good. You know, I may one day use some of his gear to even, if I can find a unicorn, I might use it to breed with. But it was phenomenal gear. So I was like, hey, if he's looking for somebody to recommend, I know this guy's gear is good. At least don't steer him wrong.
Right. I certainly appreciate that. Like, I know at that point you all ended up leaving to go back to the house. But I ended up staying, me and Back Nine Bandit stayed, and he had this box set
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I ended up buying this. So it was 7 packs of seeds, 4 seeds per pack for $200. I guess I'll go ahead and read
Are they
off
FEM
some.
seeds?
Yes, they're all FEMs.
Nice.
Let's see here. There's one called Blues, Zangria Azul, Strom Star, Mega Death Star, 4 blue stars. This is the reason why I bought this one is because it had a blueberry lemon pound cake. It just sounded
So it's
good.
London Pound Cake 75 across with DJ Shorts.
It says here it's London pound cake crossed with Blue Star.
Blue Star with his one. Okay.
Yep. And then the last one is Raspberry Pines. So yeah, I'm planning on trying to grow some of this out. I actually got some freebie seeds as well. Is that lemon pound, or how do you say it again?
Yeah. Oh, you a big
blueberry lemon pound cake. Yeah.
Oh, you a big thank you for the freebie seeds that you gave me. I mean, I from OK Calyx, man, I'm going to pop those. I'm going to go through them. I definitely am, because I've heard him on the podcast. I'm a fan of his. I enjoy what he does, all the organics. I mean, the guy knows his stuff, and he's only, I ought to stop by in Tulsa sometime because I go through that way all the time. But yeah, I'm going to pop his gear and see how she goes.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, when you do, please sure to send me some pictures and stuff. Let me know, dude, because I'm kind of curious about how it's going to turn out.
We'll meet up and let you smoke it yourself.
I can come down there for sure. Hell yeah. After the Hash Bash rally or the Monroe Street Festival, we ended up meeting back up at the Hash Bash house and did the live podcast.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
How many people were on that total?
Let's see, 2, 4. Well, if we're not counting Kangaroo, BGG's alternate ego, whatever the heck that was, I think it was 7 or 8. Yeah, yes. Including me.
Well, you got to count Grateful too, because he was.
Oh yeah, Grateful. Yeah, right. And then the nerd jumped in, last minute. So yeah. We actually talked about that on the crew podcast yesterday.
I need to catch that one. I hadn't caught it yet.
Oh yeah, it's good. BGG's on there. So it's really good. So today I was writing the notes for this podcast, and I was on Nerds Unite voice chat with Badger's Bunk. And I asked him, I said, hey, do you have any questions for OutKast? And he said, oh, actually I do. He said, what did you think about the burnt peanut dabs?
Oh yeah, there's no question. So, I mean, I wish we ought to be able to pull up a third bubble and just have him pop in so I can give him my response. Floored me. No lie, man. It was a good one. I took the dab hit. I stood up. I thought I was going to go down. It hit you in all the right places, especially in the knees, because it buckled them. But yeah, it was well worth it. It was well worth the dab.
Yeah, you actually got to smoke it in flower rosin and hash rosin, isn't that right?
Yes. Yeah, it was something else.
Hell yeah. He wanted me to ask you the story behind burnt peanuts.
Oh, so this kind of, and I told it before, it was an ode to a old high school story back in my day, back in high school. And I got a friend that he's passed away a few years ago, but me and him, we were notorious for leaving at lunch and getting burnt every day. At school, we would leave for lunch, and all the other kids are getting tacos and burritos and sandwiches and things like that. We're going and rolling one and burning it. We might catch a Coke on the way back to school, but we got to go out there and go burn a joint at lunch. Then we're going to get back. So we would come to class reeking. I'm talking reeking. And this is the old Mexican brick bud. That shit has a stank like no other, and the burnt smell just stays on you. And so we rolled up in the class, and we did this. Started the second semester. I had changed classes into this other girl's class, and she was the cheerleader, like the team captain or whatever. And she'd been in my class, and she sat in front of me for that whole semester. And I kept coming in class, and I'd be ripped every day, me and my buddy. And she turned around and she goes, "Where do y'all go for lunch?" I said, "Why?" She goes, "Well, every single day y'all leave for lunch and you come back, you smell like burnt peanuts whenever you come to the classroom." And it took me a while to get that in my head. I was like, burnt peanuts, what's that smell like? But she literally meant like burning peanuts. She didn't think about, the burnt peanuts candy, because Matt Pratt had sent me a video or a picture here a while back. He had seen some at the store of a candy pack that had burnt peanuts in it, Boston burnt peanuts. So it
that's
doesn't
awesome.
that. There's nothing associated with it. It was just the smell of weed. The plant itself, really, we were trying to make something that would be kind of a dumper. What I turned out with was something that was greasy that'll knock your lights out. But hey, man, I'm happy with it, especially with the way Badger ran it and the size that it grew to. There's several others that's grown it. Nettie's grown some burnt peanuts. It's huge. I mean, shout out to Nettie down in Aussie land. He kills it every time with his grows. I know they talk about him on Cultivation Conversation, but man, he's just a guy that I'd like to meet, face to face, because he kills it every single time he brings his A game. But Badger did too, and I can't say enough about Badger. I was impressed with the size of that plant, because my testers that I grew of it, they weren't as big as his, nowhere near as big as his. It's like he got this Bigfoot pheno, is what I call it. I mean, that thing is just his love and admiration and the kindness and care that he puts in his plants. It got bigger than mine did for sure, but I run a bunch, so I don't pay attention to as many of them one-on-one.
Dude, that's so awesome to hear. Yeah, he mentioned that it's he did the dried and cured flower rosin that he had pressed.
Yeah,
and his return was 21.4%.
Which
so
is
basically he ended up every 7 grams he got about 1.5 grams back in return.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's numbers I'm definitely proud of.
You should be proud of that. You created that.
Well, we was going down that road. He just happened to play out that way, right? So, I mean, all you can do whenever you're breeding these things is make a selection. You breed everything. It's like you said, I've told several, when you're breeding autos, it's early on selection. I mean, Alabri, Hay, Green Guy, they all know this. You got to grow several of the plant to kind of get an idea of what the characteristics are going to be when you do the selection. And whenever you go and you find the one you're going to breed, it's almost a roll of the dice, I would say. You're taking a chance every time. Because sometimes those testers, they just don't turn out and you're not going to release it. I mean, I've trashed umpteen million projects. It's like, man, that didn't show up like I wanted it to. And then you end up with something that's killer. And it's like, that's the few things that you release and you're proud of. It's everything about your name and what you put into it.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's fucking awesome.
I was going to say BGG, he also, and as well as Alabrije, but BGG, man, I know he puts a lot of love and care in his selections. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of his new stuff come out. I've got a ton of his gear I haven't got finished going through yet. I mean, I've got box sets. I've got, cherry, but every time I drop, he buys my gear. He drops, I'll go to buy his gear because we support each other. I mean, just, it is. And I'll send him a note in his packages. He sends me one in mine. We appreciate each other. But I'm always there to support him, and I appreciate the firework he puts in, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, the final thing that, I know y'all ended up having to travel back a lot further than we did. So y'all couldn't meet us for breakfast on that Sunday.
Yeah.
But you, 417 Grows, and Backwoods Poet came back over to the house. Like, we were just about to go to bed, and y'all were like, we're on our way. I'm like, all right, I guess we're gonna go ahead and start rolling up. So we already had like, I think 7 joints rolled by the time y'all came over. And then
we didn't mean to crash the party, but what happened? Let me go back and reiterate what happened. So if you remember, 417 wasn't with us the first evening, right there the second evening when me and Backwoods Poet showed up. Right. He'd gotten sick that afternoon and got kind of a sinus ear infection type deal. So he took some medicine, went back to the house, and he crashed out. And he says, well, if the guys are still up whenever I get up, he says, if I feel better, I'll go over there. So when we was leaving the first time, we was going to leave out of there early. We hit him up with a text. He's like, yeah, I'm up, man. He says, come pick me up and take me back out there so I can see everybody. So we went back home, grabbed him, and then come back out just to say, bye, because we knew we were leaving early the next day.
Right.
And the one thing we did miss out on, we missed out on all the jet fuel. I mean, we missed the cuts. All 3 of us, we bitched at each other on the way home about it. Hey, why didn't we think of that? Because they had literally hundreds of cuts there.
Yeah, we had them hanging on the door in the kitchen, and I had a box on the counter that had the jet fuel cuts. I totally didn't even think about whenever y'all come back. I was so concerned about just wanting to hang out and smoke with y'all. that I totally forgot about it myself.
Yeah.
So I do apologize about that, but I will get you the cuts eventually. We'll figure something out.
Oh, don't worry about it. I mean, I'll get to it. I got plenty. I promise you, man. I never go through. I think I can honestly say this, and I know it extends to BGG and Alabrije both. We've literally got more than our lifetime, 20 lifetimes worth of seeds that we'll ever go through. So, I mean, it's cool that I didn't get the cut. There's always going to be something else I'm going and barreling down the road hunting. I've got things in the lineup, I've been hunting and working on for a while, and that's just coming to fruition with it, and bringing it to market. But it's just some of this stuff you just grow and grow and grow, and you don't ever have enough. I can't remember how many grows you get in a lifetime, but it just, to me, it doesn't seem enough in my space in prohibition land. I need to go to a legal state to where I can have a huge warehouse where I can do the breeding properly like I want to, I would say. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%, dude. I completely understand that. You want to go ahead and we could go ahead and start talking about our gardens or your garden. What do you currently have growing on in your garden, sir?
Probably about, I won't say half a dozen autos I've got for my own that I'm growing out just to see how they're going to pan out. And they're basically my head stash personal smoke. And then on the other sets, I've got a better part of a dozen different photos that I'm going right now. Working on a breeding project on the photos. Some of it has worked, some of it has not. I've had some tough goes. I sell film seeds, and sometimes whenever you try to make a film of a plant that is tough to breed with, it doesn't work the way you want to. So you got to stop what you're doing, back up, start all over, and go back in. And sometimes that can take the better part of a month to, well, I'll say months, because you're going to get about probably 6 months in that run, or if you do it quickly, 4 months. But you can only do it about 3 runs in a year, right? So I mean, if you had to start all over, you just set yourself back another 4 months, and that's where I'm at. It's been back and forth, and trying to fight with this plant, this one that I know that I want to keep, and I know she's beautiful. She's a unicorn, and I just gotta get her reversed. And for the life of me, that this goes back to my experience in messing with this plant for so long. And I know guys out there that have done this, that have used STS spray and stuff. There's some plants you can spray them a few times. I've seen people, quote unquote, and I think it's all bro science, but they say, hey man, when you spray this spray one time, it's going to flip your plant. You spray this 3 times, you just got to spray it 3 times. That's all it takes. It'll flip your plant, and then you're going to be producing pollen, viable pollen. You hear all this, and I call it bullshit because that's what it is. It's dependent on the plant and on the genetics, man. That's what it's about. Let me tell you why. It's how strong the female is, to me, on how much STS it takes to flip it. There's some of those damn plants you can spray every day for 2 weeks, and you may be able to get that damn plant to flip, but it is that strong of a feminine plant that it does not want to reverse. It'll sit there and take that poison that you're feeding it to block its hormones, and it's not piss on you, I'm still female. And you fight these things and fight them. I've got it to breed a couple of times, but I've been unsuccessful probably 6 times on reversing that plant.
Jeez.
So it's a tough one. And if I can get I've been a couple roads on it. If I can get it down to the generation I'm on now and get it back crossed, then I'm going to try to get some of them released. But it's been a work. It's been a tough work in progress, and we'll keep trying at it and plugging away until we get something viable and something we can roll out to the testers, my testing team, and shout out to those guys, everybody, including yourself. We'll roll it, we'll test it, make sure the gear's good before we roll it out to the public.
On nutrients, so you do organics or salts?
So on my grows, I'm a Synganic grower. I will say on this set of autos, this run of autos, I went Netty style, man. I've reversed myself. I'm always trying to challenge the status quo. I've been Synganic for a long time, batch my own soil up, I'm in my own soil, but I use that as the base mix for feeding it synthetics underneath it, bottom feeding it, but having to grow, growing through soil. And so my thought behind it is it's always getting the micros from the soil. Any of the micronutrients it's not getting from the synthetic stuff, it's going to get from the soil. Your oddball stuff, that you throw in there like azomite and a few of the other little micronutrients that it's got to have to grow. So I figured, okay, that's the way I'm going to grow. And it's been successful this whole time for all these years. This time I reverse course. Nettie's plants look way better than mine did. I'm not going to lie. This dude freaking kills it. Envious of the grow, man. So I said, okay, we'll try the cocoa. So we went and bought a brick cocoa and bashed out a couple different auto pots with it, and just straight cocoa, nothing else, and nothing but synthetics. And I will say I've got to find out what newts he's using, because mine is not making my plants near as big as his, but they did get fairly big, but not as big as the ones I've had in soil and auto pots, believe it or not.
That's awesome. Do you have a grow shop that you would like to shout out?
No, I'll give a shout out to a dispensary though. If you don't
mind. Go for it.
Close friend of mine, he's over in Oklahoma, Green Healer Dispensary. I grew up with the guy, and he takes care of patients like nobody's business. He is a special kind of person, and he does it for all the right reasons. He's not in that for profit. His employees will tell you that. He's the one that has been there the longest and most consistent with his pricing, lowest pricing anywhere, and he is just about patience. He scours the farms of Oklahoma looking for good flower to bring back to his patients, and he does a phenomenal job at the Green Healer in Elk City. So I'll give a shout out to him.
Oh yeah, shout out. That's awesome, dude. All right. Let's see here. What type of equipment do you use?
So funny story. 2 days ago, I got back from a road trip. I've been tripping a lot lately, and I noticed my tent temperature was down a little bit in one of my tents, and I was like, "Oh, let me go in there and see what's going on." Got in there and looked, and the damn light was out. I started freaking out. I was like, "Oh no, this damn light I've got went out, and I got a spare, but I don't want to go get it out." And so ended up testing a few different things. Ended up being the driver going out, but the light. The reason why I panicked, it was a chilled LED. And as you know, they're no longer in business.
Oh no!
And I've got 4 of them lights. So I stole the driver from another one, ordered a driver from eBay. So we're back in business. We're good to go. But yeah, I use chilled LED, auto the tray systems. I use the auto pot grow systems. Still got, I don't know. I'm going to get off the Jacks eventually. The Jacks nutrients, because everybody uses Athena for their synthetics. I'm going to try that. But I bought way back in the day. I'm talking, I bet I've had them newts for probably 4, almost 5 years. They're probably expired by now, but I bought big 55 gallons or 55 pound sacks of that stuff, and man, enough to grow 10,000 or 30,000 plants. So it's going to take me a lifetime to get through those newts.
Good Lord.
I thought, okay, it's cheap. I got a good deal on it. It's wholesale, So I was like, hell, I'm going to buy this up. Bought it up, and I still can't burn through it. I've been giving friends trying to get rid of it.
Well, how long have you been growing cannabis?
Started back again in 2016. I started back in 1993. Started way back when, and had some pretty successful runs there. A few little ones, all photo stuff, right? So that was back in the days of reading the High Times magazine, reading Ed Rosenthal, Jorge Cervantes. I read all them books and been through them. The Breeder's Bible, all that stuff. This is all old language back in the 90s, man. And so fell in love with the plant, grew forever, and then ended up having a family, had to put a squash and all that. And it was probably about 2014, 2016, somewhere in that time frame, when my wife got sick and really started coming back to the plant to hunt for medicine, and my buddy Bob from out in Florida, he had sent me some auto seeds, and that's how the whole auto thing got started. I started working with the autos, started growing them, and ended up started breeding them. Hey, can I use this plant? And start working the lineage of it and getting other strains, and that's how the whole thing begun. So it was back, I want to say it's 2016 was whenever I first popped seed again, started back on that journey. So it's been 9 years. It's been a minute.
Right on. Well, I've got some breeding questions for you if you're ready for those.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
I may or may not have the answers. You might have to call in, phone a friend, and get some BGG or Elabrije in here.
Well, I think we could try to work that out somehow.
We did it on cultivation.
Oh right, yeah, that was fucking awesome. I'm so glad that y'all did the 3 of y'all on that episode.
Oh, I'd do it again. Them guys are great guys.
Fuck yeah, dude, absolutely. All right, how long have you been breeding cannabis?
I want to say it was in 2016 when I started growing. It was probably in 2017 was whenever I first started trying to breed autos and get back into them pretty heavily, and started tinkering with them. I would say starting heavily before I got anything that was worth releasing to anybody was probably around 2020, around COVID area.
Okay.
Because I mean, I bred a few plants back then that I kept all the seeds and I used them, but some of them didn't turn out like I wanted to. And I mean, I know what I'm shooting for, and I had to find other strains to work with, man. I mean, it's just, you know how long it takes to breed these things, and there's other people doing work. And if I can do work, and then if I can help get somebody else's work, like the collaboration between me and BGG can further a plant, well, by all means, let it be furthered. I don't care whose name's on it.
Right.
Let's find fire and create it.
Well, can you provide a brief overview of your breeding philosophy and goals?
A brief overview. So a brief overview is bred with intention. I'm a big guy on, so when you talk about intention, it's really what is in the breeder's mind about what is he looking that's his goal plant. And so you get that through experience of growing. So, you know, and I told Captain this, I'll tell you guys this, including you, Paranoid, I think everybody ought to chuck a little pollen sometime. I mean, you need to understand how that plant's going to respond to it and work with it. But really, as far as a philosophy goes, you breed with intention, so you know what you want to create. You start with a goal in mind, and then you work backwards from that goal. What's it going to take to get you there? So you start looking at your base plants. What are we looking for? What I guess attributes are we looking for? Are we looking for structure? Are we looking for frost? Are we looking for bag appeal? I mean, smell, terps. What are you looking for? And what are you trying to accomplish? And then you go down those avenues and you find the right strains, or what you think is the right strains, to try to go down that road and breed a product. Breeding with intention is probably my philosophy, as far as it's got to be bred with intention or it's not being bred at all. I mean, if you're just chunking it together, just see what happens, that's fine. But I wouldn't go releasing that type of gear. I mean, to me, you've got to have some intent behind it. That's every breeder. They've got some intent behind it, unless they're on some type of cash grab. But if you love the plant like I love the plant, you know what you're wanting to create. For my goals in the cannabis industry, I don't really have any technical goals. It's really to try to provide that medicine to as many people as I can and educate. Even as far as the breeding part, if I can help you get further in your projects and help educate you on something, then I feel like I'm accomplishing a goal. It's helping others. That's at the end of the day, that's kind of what my goal is. It's just to help others, because I've watched everybody I've been affiliated with grow so much in some aspect, one way or another, on something either I've told them or helped them with. I've watched a lot of people, you know, become great growers on taking something of what I did and then putting a spin on it. And it's just to better things. You know, at the end of the day, it's just like work, right? Paranoid. I mean, you go through your career, you're like, I had a philosophy whenever I worked somewhere. It was like, whenever you show up at a job and you do a job, you always leave it better than what you found it. It doesn't matter what it is. I've lived that philosophy my whole life. You leave it better than what you found it as. And so if you live by that, I think you're going to have a pretty good lineage of goals and a mission statement in front of you.
You know, it's funny you say that. I actually have a goal that I've had at work. That's something I learned when I first started working in the automotive industry. And it was early is on time is late, and late is never achieving.
There you go.
I've lived like that my whole life at this job, and pretty much anything, you know, I do my best that I can, but I'm always trying to achieve.
It's definitely a philosophy that serves you well. I mean, you can't go wrong living that philosophy, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I got on a soapbox this morning. A friend of mine came over and we got pretty burnt for 420. Then I got to talking about that was, you know, what all does it take to be successful? And it's the drive in everybody. You know, depends on what you're doing. If you want to, like I said, bred with intention. If you've got something you want to breed, how long is it going to take you to get there? And what's your goal? And how long is it going to take to achieve that goal? Sometimes it might take months. Sometimes it's going to be years before you see your final out product. To me, it ain't about being a cash grab and trying to release everything once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year, 4 times a year. I don't normally do that. I'm lucky if I get a strain out a year, or 4 or 5 strains in 1 year, and then I might go 2 years without a release. It might take me a while, but I've got a small space I'm working with, and I don't want to send out anything that's bad because my name's on it. So, you know, it's always got to have a goal in mind, and you always got to have motivation to get up and do what you want to do every day.
Right. What are the marks of a true breeder versus a pollen checker?
Well, I think I went down that road and talked a little bit a while ago about it. It's bred with intention, man.
Yeah.
Breeders breed with intention. Guys have in mind what they want. They see it in their mind. They visually see it. I mean, with your mind, you can see that plant. You know what that unicorn looks like, and you know what you need to get there. Sometimes it's a wild roadmap to get to that end point, and sometimes it can be a straight shot. But regardless, it's going to be a journey either way, and it sets apart breeders from pollen chuckers. Pollen chuckers pretty much, if they take a male, throw it into a female, you got some reg seeds, all right, you've pollen chucked. You need to understand the morphology of the plant and everything it goes through doing all that, and what the plant's doing and what it looks like when it gets impregnated. I mean, I think everybody needs to see that it educates them. And even on seed harvest, whenever you have the thing go full term and you harvest the seed, and what that looks like, and cleaning and shucking a hole in the seeds and getting all of them cleaned up, and then counting your seeds, and that's all a process. It's a long process, but it's all a process. But yeah, I think those little things, bred with intention versus just chucking pollen to the wind to see what you end up with, that's kind of what sets the two apart between breeders and pollen chuckers.
Oh yeah, that's a wonderful answer, sir. All right, what is your favorite cultivar that you've created?
That's kind of a train wreck question, right? So point and paint me in a corner. Let's see.
You got this.
I had a couple of good ones, man. I mean, I think I like the raspberry stomper off the stomper lineup, man. I liked it so much that I went ahead and released a bunch of crosses with it. The last run, I will tell you, and the burnt peanuts impressed me. I was impressed with it, but still, the mythical midnight to me is what I liked out of that last release, man. I mean, I just love that. I love the big seeds. I love the explosive growth. I love the structure of the plant. I love the frostiness. It's extremely frosty and sticky. So, I mean, it hit all the marks for me on the last release that we did. It was probably my favorite one out of that group. But overall, of my own strains, I'm gonna say mythical midnight, man. That's the latest and greatest.
Bro, look, dude, you know what? I had actually had this written down because I was so excited about the mythical midnight, dude. And I know I've told you the story at Hash Bash, but I want to tell it to the audience here.
Okay.
So I was a tester. Like I just joined your testing team, and you sent out 2 cultivars. It was a MM and I forget what the other code was. But it ended up being Mythical Midnight and Reaper's Raspberry. Oh, it was MM and RR. So it's Mythical Midnight and Reaper's Raspberry. And so I'd grown the Mythical Midnight. I ended up, it was like my second grow with autopots. I got like 5 ounces or 5.5 ounces off of each plant. And so I ended up drying and curing it, and went to go just smoke it. I always smoke in joint form, and I used my grinder, and it was getting gunked up, and I'm like, what the hell? What's wrong with this cheap ass grinder? I thought it was just the grinder, so I'm like, well, I went out and spent some good money on on a decent grinder.
Nice grinders, the Santa Cruz shredders.
Yeah, and so I started using it, and it started gunking up. I'm like, what the hell's wrong? Like, what am I? Is it me? Am I loading the grinder wrong? Like, is there a specific way? Like, what's going on? And so then, at the time, I had a friend of mine, they had their grinder at my house. I'm like, well, let me use your grinder. And so I started using their grinder, and it was the same thing. And I'm like, man, this thing it's just sticky. It's this plant. Like it's just, there's so much oil. And so a local friend of mine, I gave him some, and he came back like a week later, and he's like, dude, I'm not complaining. Okay. I'm just letting you know that I'm having issues with grinding up that flour, dude. Like, I'm having to use 2 grinders. Like, dude, I'm having to use 3.
It's balling up in the grinder.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, it's so freaking sticky. And so Badger, it's like, he said that was the first thing that he wanted whenever, I know when we did the testing, you actually gave us, or each tester, a pack of seeds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know he asked you for the Mythical Midnight because of that, because of my story. There was many a times where I'm on Toker's Lounge with Badger, and I'm just like, oh, what's wrong with this grinder? He's like, it's not the grinder, dude. It's the flour, man.
I keep plenty of alcohol around on my damn grinders to keep those things cleaned up because mine get gunked up bad too, man. I know, but it's a good problem to have.
It is. It's a great problem to have. I mean, I'm not complaining at all. It was an amazing experience. I'm so glad I got to share it with you.
Well, I appreciate it. You always kill it, but it sounds like on that one, you get about the same size of plants I'm getting, roughly anywhere from 5 to 7 ounces on a grow. And I haven't been able to kill it. I ain't pulled a 10, 12 ouncer out yet, like Nettie. So still trying to hone my even my own grow skills, man. I grow, pretty good plants, but some of them growers out there, man, that we've got in the community, they flat kill it, and I think I tried to get Nettie to breed over in Aussie land. I thought I'll walk you through everything step by step. He just hasn't got around to it yet. But I said, it beats customs.
Right? 100%, dude. Well, I've grown a few of your cultivars, like I said, Mythical Midnight and Reaper's Raspberry. I have also grown your Strawberry GMO, and I'm currently growing the Mythical Midnight again. And for the first time, I'm growing Jungle Berry cookies. So I'm really looking forward to that. They're both gigantic. One of them is almost touching the light. It's in my 5x10. So I mean, it's tall, or she's tall, and yeah, they're looking fabulous right now. They're getting. I probably have about 20 more days, 25 more days.
Nice.
But yeah, they're chunking up now, so it's pretty beautiful.
That's good. I mean, you probably need to break that top coal over, and I have to do that all the time. Break those plants over, keep them going in the light.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to.
And give it a little Kyle Cushman chiropractic.
There we go. Do you have any information on how resistant your cultivars are against common diseases and pests?
Being how I'm from a prohibition state, I cannot tell you about outdoor grows very much because I try to do outdoor grows once in a blue moon, and they're pretty much guerrilla grows, right? So you don't want the smell getting out in the neighborhood and doing all that stuff. So I try to keep that on down low. I've run some cultivars out in the quote unquote wild, out there with the sun harnessing its energy. I've had a few of them come down with some spider mites, but we have spider mites in this area real bad, and I fight them on my vegetable garden all the time. So, for as far as pest and resilience, as far as a tent grower, they're great. Indoor, outdoor, I've had a few people here in the Lone Star State that have grown some outdoors and been successful. I haven't got to fully test them outdoors to see what they run like autos outdoors. I'm open to anybody running the gear outside. So, I mean, I've seen people run it. They've sent me pictures and it's done well. But I've also seen, short squatty plants, but it all depends on the grower. You can stun them early and not get anything out of them. Or some of these people have grown some larger plants in their backyards. I'm like, dang, those are pretty good. Mine usually 2 to 3 foot tall, 4 foot tall. Somewhere they don't get too big, but they haven't been out of the ones I've grown. Probably 7 of the different cultivars I have outdoors, and I've had 2 of them come down with spider mites, and they were stompers. So, and that's me fighting them outside, spraying them all the time and stuff. So I couldn't tell you with sincerity that I've tested a bunch of people growing it outdoors because I don't have the data on that. So I can't say, hey, we've tested this outdoor because that's just something I haven't ventured down. If I was in a legal state, yeah, I'd do it 100% heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, I do want to say I do appreciate your honesty.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I mean, why wouldn't I be? Transparency is the number one thing with the community.
Absolutely.
If you're transparent, you aren't real, dude. They're going to sniff you out in a hurry.
Absolutely, dude. They will super quick. I do appreciate that, man. Yeah, that's one thing I have reason why I've stuck around with you as long as I have is because you're very transparent. You let us know.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah, right. I love that. I know as a breeder, generally when you're doing projects, you generally don't want to give out information, but is there anything that you would like to give out to the audience about your upcoming breeding projects?
Autos, we're working on a few things, going down a different line. I may end up in the future using the Mythical Midnight again to further some other things to see if I can get some more frost bearing plants because it's so frosty. But along the photos is really kind of where I want to say I put a lot of focus into that in the last year and a half. I put a lot of focus in autos, and I've been working with one in particular plant, and I'm not going to release it yet, but I've been working with one in particular plant. The one I was telling you I'm so damn stubborn with. I got to get it to a point to where I know the seed is perfectly viable. We have great germination rates to where we're 95, 98% germination on it. And then the plant grows structurally very sound. We're probably on the I'm on the 5th generation right now. So as soon as I can get it to where I can back cross this thing back to lock in some genetics, then I may be releasing it pretty soon. And it'll have, I think, about 4 sisters that are going to come along with it.
Oh yeah. Let's see here. During your breeding journey, what's one thing you did not expect?
I would say the dominance of recessive traits.
Okay.
Whenever you're breeding something and you see something come out of it that you totally did not expect, whether it's a tight structure where the nodes are real packed together and you didn't see it come out of, 7 or 8 different brothers or sisters that you grew out, it's the oddities. And I didn't expect to see the variation that I do in some of the different cultivars, because some of them are extremely, I know you've heard the stories of like breeding with Mac 1 and things of that nature. There's some of these that are just super, they're tough. I guess one of the things I didn't expect to see was whenever you're breeding plants, I thought, hey man, it's just like, humans, it's male, female, boom, you make a baby, you're going business, and now it's just like humans. You're dealing with the infertility rates, and maybe we need IVF, or maybe you need something to help it along. And so I didn't expect to see the issues that I see out of some of these plants. Whenever you're growing them, you're hunting them, you're looking for them, you find the right one, you clone it, you get it to a point where you want to breed it, and then boom, you go to flip it or you go to breed it, and then you don't have you breed it, and then your offspring either turns out with like some completely recessive traits that you didn't see coming. Maybe it's a duck foot. The whole damn plant's duck foot leaves on the offspring. You're like, where the hell did that come from? And you got 2 plants, you got 11 and 13 leaves on, the parents. It's like, where did this come from? And it's a recessive trait. It catches you completely off guard. And so that was probably the biggest thing that I was getting used to seeing the weird shit come out of the plant and trying to get it out of the way, knowing that it's going to be there, because it will show up. It'll show up at the most inopportune times whenever you're, wanting to get something really going. You're like, I got 50 of these seeds planted and I know I'm going to find something good in here. And you're going through it. You're like, man, half these are shit. It's seeing some bad characteristics as often as I do.
Right on.
The variation. So, that was kind of an unexpected part of the journey.
Cool. All right. Do you have any plans on any updates? I'm sorry. Do you have any plans for any release dates coming up soon?
I was going to try to get it out this year, but I don't know if it's going to happen. I'll be honest about that. Completely honest about it. It's not where I want it to be. I'll work on it. And if it gets out and gets to testers this year, it's going to be great, because then I can get it tested maybe by the first part of next year, and we might have a summer release, but it's going to take a minute. I've still got stuff to do. I've got to do on my end, a lot of work I got to do on my side. So I've got to get it to a point where I can get the seeds viable to where they're out to testers and we can run the gear where it gets to where I'm comfortable with it. But yeah, release date, it might be a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I'm not in this for the money. I'm not. I want to, like I said, I'm just trying to further things. That's what I want to do it for, and provide medicine for people that's viable and can help people. So if it takes longer, it takes longer. My apologies to everybody. I know I'm not a guy that drops every time we turn around. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. We'll get there. Promise you. It'll be worth the wait.
Well, that's one great thing about you too, is that whenever you do release, it's gold every single time. So you're not just one of these people out here just pumping stuff out all the time, stuff that's not fully tested. Like you go through the ringer.
You got to, or otherwise you won't be batting 1,000, right? They'll knock you out of the game. You won't be called up to bat in the bottom of the ninth because your game ain't on point. So yeah, you got to go through that stuff, man.
For sure. All right. The last breeding question before the hot seat is, what advice would you give to an aspiring cannabis breeder for their own breeding project?
Don't let failure get in the way of success. Don't let something that you did not see coming. I've trashed whole entire projects time and time again. I will not tell you. Oh, there was one of them I spent, man, it was a good 3.5 years on, and I ended up having to trash the whole damn thing because the end product I ended up with a batch. Somehow it got an intersex trait that I could not get rid of, and I couldn't get rid of it. And I went back and backbred another generation and still couldn't get rid of it. So I was like, screw it. I'm not fighting this. I'm done. Scrap it. Move on to the next thing. As a young breeder, that can be disheartening. Don't let it deflect you from what your end mission is. Keep chugging along. It's going to come. Just keep putting the nose to the grindstone and keep chugging ahead. Don't put out subpar results is the one advice I would give you. Don't chuck pollen and think, okay, I've tested a few of these. They're good. Roll them out. Test the damn seeds. Roll it out to a dozen of your friends. Roll it out to 24 of your friends. Let them grow them. Get the data back and make sure you got something solid before you turn it loose. Do us all a favor, man. Keep the gene pool tight and keep it clean. Don't piss in the gene pool.
Right.
My advice.
Hell yeah, dog. Excellent advice, sir. All right. So you ready for the hot seat?
I guess, man. I heard this thing's pretty hot.
It's not too bad. All right. Which band or artist did you see for your first concert and venue?
First concert would be White Zombie opening up for Pantera.
Whoa, that's cool, dude.
And that was back in high school. It was an epic concert for sure.
Dude, that is an epic headliner right there, bud. What was your favorite song when you were 16?
I want to say Cowboys from Hell from Pantera.
It's a great song, sir.
Oh, dude, I love the riff in it.
Hell yeah, dude.
I got a buddy of mine that plays it it's just like the record. He plays it just like Dimebag. He's badass.
Right. Have you seen the new Pantera with Zakk Wylde taking place? Oh my God, Zakk Wylde is fucking amazing.
Oh, I've seen him in concert. He's sick. He's a sick guitar player.
I've never seen Zakk Wylde beforehand, right? And I seen him tour with Pantera. I think it was January of last year. And the whole time I'm just blown away. I'm like, oh my God, this dude's fucking amazing. Like
he's played for several different bands as far as a guest, and he's touring with them. I've watched him a couple different times, but yeah, I've watched Megadeth. I've watched a handful of other heavy metal bands that he's either sidelined with them or went with a different band and was there as a guest guitarist. But he kills it, dude. He absolutely kills it.
Hell yeah, dude.
But, even said Zakk Wylde's killer, Dimebag Darrell's killer. But I'll give a shout out to the country music artists as well, man. There are some killer guitar players in country music. I mean, Keith Urban, dude, that guy can play. He's no joke. I've watched him in concert. That guy can play a guitar. I enjoy good guitar players.
Have you met a musical artist or band in person? This could be a meet and greet or out in the wild.
This is a funny story. You know the band Co Wetzel?
No, I don't.
Co Wetzel, they're a Texas country band.
Okay.
They've gotten pretty large on the national scale now. They're pretty large guys. I met them back in 2014. I was on the road working and had an old friend of mine, girl I went to school with. She was a bartender, and she called me up and said, "Hey, we come up here and have a drink. Nobody's up here." So I went up there to the bar, sat and bullshit with her, and in walks this group of guys. There was nobody in the bar, and it was Co Wetzel's band. And it was him and his band members. I had no idea who they were, didn't have any inkling. And in my line of work, I worked in oil and gas at the time. There was a lot of contractors in that industry, right? So the Mexican guy, their drummer, he comes up to the bar and he orders some tequila shots for him and his buddies. And I look at him, I'm like, "What contractor do you work for?" And he looked at me and goes, "Dude, I don't work for no contractor. I play the drums." I'm like, "For who?" And he goes, "Co Wetzel band." I said, "Never heard of them." He goes, "Well, we're a pretty big deal." I said, "Well, apparently fucking not, because there ain't many people in this bar. There's nobody around." And he goes, "Well, our bus is, our tour bus driver, he had to stop because they was headed up to Grand Junction, Colorado to play a show, and he ran out of hours to drive. So they stopped in town while his bus driver was getting rest. They all went to the bar. And so they were all in there and they got to singing karaoke and shit. It was pretty wild night just with those guys. I got to meet the whole band and bullshit with them. I didn't know who they were. And I will say this, even as big as they have become, those dudes are real deal. Like they're cool. Like in my book, they're always cool because we sat and had a beer and bullshitted just like me and you were bullshitting, and they were real people. They were super uber cool and didn't treat me any different. And they told me, it says, when we get back down there in the San Antonio area, you need to go out to John T. Flores and come to our show. I mean, they was super cool about all of it. And I said, I left there knowing that hell those guys are all right. And I've actually listened to his music since, and I like his music. His music's pretty cool.
Hell yeah, dude. What is the most surprising opener you've ever seen perform live?
Probably Breaking Benjamin when they first started out.
Oh my God, I love Breaking Benjamin.
I watched them open for Godsmack, and I didn't expect that kind of sound to come out of them because before them was Head PE, and Head PE did not put on a good show.
Dude, I love Head PE.
They're good. Don't get me wrong.
They didn't put on a good show?
It was a bad show.
What?
Yeah, I don't know if the sound was off or what. So they were almost to the point of getting booed off stage, and then Breaking Benjamin come out there and floored everybody. It's like, holy shit, are these guys the headline? Because they were flooring people. And then Godsmack came on and, of course, rocked it like they always do. But, yeah, Breaking Benjamin was probably the biggest headliner or biggest opening act that I've seen that I was, like, blown away by. I'm like, damn, these dudes are good when they were first starting out.
Dude, I've seen Breaking Benjamin multiple times in concert because they're one of my favorite bands to see live. My best one that I had seen of them, they did a acoustic at the Ryman Auditorium.
Oh,
and I don't know if you ever heard of a band called Starset.
Yeah, I know Starset.
So Starset opened for them, and they did kind of like a Nirvana Unplugged where they had the candles and the rug, and you know what I'm talking about, like the 90s, like MTV.
Yep. MTV Unplugged.
And it was pretty wild. They did the whole unplugged thing. Well, Breaking Benjamin come out afterwards, and they were rocking it. It was basically just like their stuff was literally unplugged. They had acoustic guitars.
Yeah,
but they were doing full energy like they do at a normal Breaking Benjamin concert. So they were Benjamin was just going to the town. I'm like, what am I looking at? Like, I thought this was going to be kind of like a Starset, like, you know, MTV Unplugged, but I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, they come on wild, huh?
And you know what's funny is you were talking about opening. So they opened for Shinedown at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, right? They outshined Shinedown 100%. Like their show was so good, and like even people were leaving Shinedown their set was that bad. Like
really,
it was a complete difference. Like, and so after that, I noticed that they never did that again. Like they didn't, because I've seen Breaking Benjamin open for another band before, and you can see they kind of
toned it back.
Yeah, because they realize, you know, we are the openers. We don't need to be outdoing the main group,
outshining the main stage.
Right. Yeah. But Breaking Benjamin, dude, I'm so glad you brought that up, dude.
I like Shinedown too, man. I love Shinedown. Me and the wife went out and seen Jelly Roll open for Shinedown whenever he was doing the tour for them, whenever he first broke out. That was pretty cool, man. Shinedown's they're a special band in my books, man. I love their music. Love Jelly Roll too, man. I mean, he's just a good dude.
You know what's funny about Jelly Roll? We went to the same high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he I'm not gonna say the high school, but I left earlier before
graduated
he did.
Earlier.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, he's a little bit younger than me, but yeah, it was the same high school.
That's wild.
Yeah. All right. Which band or artist has been your favorite to see perform live and venue?
I've seen so many through the years, man. I mean, that's something that me and the wife do a lot of, is go to live music shows. I love concerts. I mean, that's something I've lived my whole life and done. Like when we go on vacations, man, I'll vacation and go to a concert. I can't really think of probably the best show that was blown away. I mean, I've seen a lot of them that have blown me out of the water. Oh, well, I'll tell you a good one. And this has got a little bit of history. All the good concert stories always have a story to them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go for it.
Probably one of the better ones I've seen was Megadeth back in 1997, I think it was.
Wow.
And you're not going to believe where I seen them at.
Oh, snap. Where is it?
This is the venue, no lie. At Santa Fe, New Mexico, at the Indian School for the Deaf.
What?
Yeah.
What? No, all right, you gotta tell me the story, dude. What the hell? How did this happen?
So this was back in the days when I was building a lot of stuff. I was a carpenter. I run around the country. I built a lot of homes and multi-million-dollar facilities and stuff like that. Well, I was out there and some guys that we got affiliated with, just bullshitting with them and drinking with them. Guys that worked there close to the hotel that we was at, they worked at the liquor store. We always stopped at the liquor store every day to get beer and shit like that. And these guys just happened to smoke bud too. So we burned down, get out there and we're bullshitting. These guys are like, "Hey, Megadeth's playing down at the school." I said, "What school?" He said, "School for the Deaf." I said, "Bullshit. There ain't no way that a heavy metal band is down there playing for a bunch of deaf kids at a school for the deaf." He goes, "No, dude, they use that as a venue out here. Like they put concerts on and regular people can go in there."
Oh,
I'm like, "Oh, okay. So that makes sense." And so he's like, "Yeah, man." He says, "Just go on down there." He says, "It's an outdoor amphitheater. So you don't even really need to go in there. You can just sit on the outside in the football field, drink beer in the stands. You can hear everything. It's just from a far distance. You can see the stage, but it's just a further distance, like having the nosebleed seats at a concert." I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, just take a cab down there." So me and my two buddies that I worked with, we loaded up a case of beer in a duffel bag, jet to the concert. We get there, we get out, and there are a bunch of drunk people all over this football field listening to Metallica, right? The Metallica wasn't up yet. They was just opening bands. There's
right.
drunk people out on the field, and there was a guy that was sitting there in the foot of the bleachers, and he kept shouting, "I've got 2 tickets for Megadeth." And I'm like, this dude's full of shit. Well, he was drunk. He kept asking my buddy for a cigarette. He says, "Hey, give me a cigarette." And he said, "I'll give you a cigarette if you give me a lighter," because he didn't have a light with him. Well, he gave him the cigarette. The guy never pulled the lighter out of his pocket. He just sat there with the unlit cigarette in his mouth, screaming he had 2 tickets for Megadeth. And these other Indian guys that were with us up there in the stands, they were working road construction. They were drunker than shit. And one of them come over there to us. He said, "Hey, man, we're out of alcohol." He says, "You got a 6-pack of beer? I'll give you 2 tickets." I said, "You got tickets?" He says, "I got 2 tickets." That's all he said to me. So I got 2 tickets. I said, "Okay." I said, "Here, dude." I gave him a 6-pack of beer. I watched this dude walk all the way down the bleachers, all the way down to the ground. And this dude was passed out drunk on the ground. And I watched this Indian guy grab him by the waist of the pants, pick it up, and start rifling through his pockets. And then he pulled the tickets out and he come up there and handed them to me. He goes, "Here's your 2 tickets."
Oh my
He
God.
brought this dude out in front of the public. I'm like, "You're kidding me." How old was I? Probably 22, 23 at the time, somewhere around there. I grabbed the tickets. I said, "All right, there's 3 of us. We got 2 tickets. Who's going in?" So, well, hell, if there's 3 of us, we can buy the ticket, just chip in, $20 a piece or $10, whatever it was at the time. And we bought a 3rd ticket. We went in and watched Megadeth that night.
No
Yeah,
way.
we got in the concert on a 6-pack of beer and 1 ticket.
Wow. I've seen Megadeth before at Municipal Auditorium in Nashville, and it was some type of metal music festival, like Napalm Death and Anthrax and Testament, I think.
I went to the River City Music Festival. They was holding it in San Antonio, and I think one of the most memorable shows. I had a few buddies come down, and I liked watching Volbeat,
Oh
Anthrax.
yeah,
There was a few good ones that I really enjoyed. I love Volbeat's voice, man. It's unique.
it is.
But yeah, I like their style of music too.
Hell yeah. All right. If you could make your own music festival lineup, who would be your headliners?
Dude, I'm all over the map on that. You don't even want to know my type of music. I mean, you'd have Billy Strings, uh you'd have some symphony in there too. You'd have to.
Yes. 100%, bro. That's a fucking amazing answer, dude.
I
Yes,
mean,
symphony. Yeah.
yes, if you love music, it reaches all genres. I mean, I jammed the old gangster rap all the time. All the different music. I mean, I love it. I really do. I don't know if I could possibly nail down a headliner, like who would be the top guy, top billing, but there would be a
Oh,
number.
let's say like three people that you would. I mean, you said Billy Strings.
Yeah, I'd do Billy Strings. I'd do Metallica for another one, just because they're old and I've seen them 3 times. I don't know if I'll ever see them again in my life. And I think they put on one hell of a show with the pyrotechnics. They're good. But Godsmack, by far, I will tell you, I've seen them 3 times so far. And those guys, they put it down every damn time they come on. It don't matter who they're with. When they shut down an intermission and they go into their solos, that shit's badass. There is no show like that. I mean, it's good. The back and forth dueling drum sets, that's cool if you've never seen it. That is
Yeah. I've seen Godsmack at Bridgestone before. And, yeah, they're pretty amazing live.
Sully can play every instrument that's on that stage.
Yeah,
and
he did.
plays
He,
just as good as anybody else.
It's crazy, like because there'll be certain songs that he'll just kind of bounce around to each instrument and just start going to town. It's like, what the hell? I've seen Kid Rock do that before. He's pretty talented as well.
I've watched Kid Rock too. I've seen him down in Austin a couple of years ago during the No Snowflakes tour.
Nice.
And it was a pretty wild show. It was a good show. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed that one.
Hell yeah. Which song instantly hypes you up?
Shots, Little John.
Oh, I tell you, the Little John songs, they're just always hype people up, man.
Yeah. His music's just geared that way. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. All right. What's a band or artist that you feel is completely underrated?
Man, I can't think of some of their names. I've got to get better at that because I've seen some new ones on, TikTok of some female rock artists that are really, really, really good, talented vocally. I mean, not to just screamo, but they can sing. I would say the girl that I watched on YouTube, what was her name? It was Lainey Gardner.
Okay.
And if you haven't watched the video, it's got like 40 something million views on it. Watch her sing Dreams.
Okay.
By Fleetwood Mac. Lainey Gardner by Fleetwood Mac. She sings it. She's in the video. She's a younger girl. I mean, she's in her early 20s, or she might even be a teenager. She's like in her jogging pants, and she's sitting on the bed. And the story to the song goes, she sang it to her parents. That's why she recorded it, and she released it. And it didn't really gain traction until people started seeing it on the internet. And then once people started seeing it, it flew through the roof. I mean, she's an up and coming country music artist. In my opinion, my personal opinion, this is my opinion, and I love Stevie Nicks. I mean, Stevie Nicks is unlike no other, but I think this girl actually outshines Stevie Nicks in that song.
Really?
It's that good.
Wow. It's impressive. Yeah, I've seen Stevie Nicks at Bonnaroo in Manchester, Tennessee. She has a lovely voice, so I'm definitely gonna have to check out.
Yeah, check it out.
What's her name again?
I'll send it to you in Discord. Her name's Lainey Gardner. I'll send you a link to the video.
All right, cool. I appreciate that. All right. Name a band or artist that you would like to see live. This is a band you've never seen before.
Starset would be a good one. I haven't seen them.
Oh, dude, you got to see them.
Have you seen them?
That's what I say. I seen them at that acoustic set that I was telling you about earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here looking. I'm trying to think. I haven't seen some country music people. I like country music as well. I'd like to see Hardy. I haven't seen him.
Okay. I don't know. I've never heard of him.
Hardy's music. You ever seen Give Heaven Some Hell? And there's a few other songs. He's got some good music.
Okay.
You're writing those in your notes. Oh, he's relighting his joint.
I'm relighting my joint. Actually, I'm gonna go back and listen to the episode to write stuff down because I do have a hard time trying to keep up.
I mean, I'm looking on my playlist. I would think Parkway Drive would be a good one.
Ooh, I want to see Parkway Drive too, dude. I've never seen them before. I would love to see them.
I want to check their show out.
Oh, dude, Parkway Drive is a great answer. Hell yeah. All right. Actually, this question is inspired by you, Mr. OutKast.
Oh, no.
Because you had actually asked me this question at the Monroe Street Fair. Which terps and or smells are your favorite?
Mine's going to be pinene, man. I like the astringent terp of pinene where it reminds me of back in the mid-90s when you got the good BC bud and the pine smell was so strong. And when you smoked it, it choked you up. It's one of those ones that makes your nose feel like the nasal cavity is just collapsing in on itself. It's so stout. That's the type of terp I like. I mean, I like a Kimmy, strong pinene terp, maybe a little myrcene, but I mean, really kind of the pinene. It just knocks my socks off, man. Gives me a good, long-lasting head buzz.
Right on. Hell yeah, dog. Let's see here. Which cultivar would you pair with an album? Now,
whenever you said this, I can't remember who you asked this to. You asked him this, and whenever I heard the podcast, I thought to myself, he said cultivar. He didn't say shroom or MJ. So I would have to say shroom cultivar. And I would go with the blue meanies, we'll go with the blue magnolias.
Okay.
paired with Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. Don't get any better than that. That's it. You just got to listen to the music. You feel the music whenever that shit kicks in.
Okay. I'll accept that answer.
I'll feel it. That. It's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, hell yeah, dog. Let's see here. What was your first cannabis event?
I want to say probably the first real event is going to be Hash Bash this year. It was the first real event that I've ever been to where I've been to a legal state where everybody's freely smoking. It just blew me away. I've been to several events, just buddies' backyards, but nothing like what I seen there. That was insane. I will tell everybody out there, your audience and everybody else out there in the free world, if you've never been to it and you're a cannabis smoker, you love cannabis, you ought to go try to visit it just one time. See what it's all about. You've never seen the free market. It's basically a free market, open air market for getting whatever you want. And it's free. It's not free admission. I mean, you got to pay to get in, but it's freely traded amongst everybody in there. And if you're looking for something, there's people that'll always help you out. I mean, it's like a flea market for weed, man. I mean, I can't say it any better than that. It's crazy. If you've never seen that, it's something to see. But I will always have a memorable experience at Hash Bash 2025, not from the cup, but from going to the house and meeting all the homies, because that beat it all. That is not a bad experience for a first event. I promise you. That would set the bar high.
I'm glad that I was part of your experience for your first cannabis event.
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to Cheese, Dad Terps, all the guys that I hadn't met and got to meet out there for the first time. That was super uber cool. Marty, I mean, love the guy. He's a good dude. Yeah. Everybody was just uber cool. You don't understand it. I mean, I was blown away by the generosity and the kindness. Blown away by it. I thought they only made those people in Texas. Come on.
We're all over the U.S., bro.
Oh, I know. We're all a big community.
Absolutely, sir. What was your most memorable purchase from a cannabis event?
Well, my only cannabis event was that last one. So my first purchase would have been the red pop from that fellow geneticist and striving growers that were there. That whole congregation of them, I believe, their name was High Point, Michigan, or something like that. They're a good group of guys. They're really trying to get something started up there. But yeah, I bought his flower because he was proud of it and he wanted to show it to me. And he says, stick your head in here. You'll know what you got. So I stuck my head in that bag, and sure enough, I've grown red pop. And man, that was a face full of it, man. It was strong. So I was like, yeah, give me some of that. And he's like, how much do you want? I said, I don't need pounds. Just give me an ounce. I need it for personal. So just give me an ounce of it. I'll try it out. So we went ahead and went on with the ounce of red pop from the event, just to try out. But like I said, that shit paled in comparison to whatever was at the house.
For sure. Who was the first grower you met in the community?
First one I met face to face would probably be 417 Grows in the community. As far as the community as a whole, the first one go a long ways back. Growing, no, I take that back. I met Firebuds a long time ago. He was probably the first one I met that I got to know him, and he was actually a good guy. I met him in Oklahoma. That was back in 2020. I think it was during COVID. We had a Cowboy Cup event out there. So it would have been, I went to a cannabis event. That was the damn Cowboy Cup out there. I didn't even think about it.
Oh, you're talking about in like Stillwater, I think?
No, it's in, it was in OKC. It was actually in the city.
Oh, okay.
They had it in the city at an old mall. And so there was vendors like, how a mall's set up, how all indoor malls are set up. All the stores were closed, but there were shops like tents outside of all the stores. So it made the walkways a little bit more narrow, but that whole place was full. And I mean, Jinx Proof was there. There was Firebuds. There was a bunch of breeders there that I got to meet and got to introduce myself and got to know them. A bunch of cool guys.
Hell yeah. Which Gromy from the community are you looking forward to meeting?
Let me think. There's so many of them. I'd like to meet Nettie, to be honest with you. My Aussie brother. I've met a bunch of you guys stateside, not throwing any shade at anybody stateside, because I still love all you guys and I want to meet each and every one of you that grow the gear. I mean, that do such a phenomenal job and post the pics online. I'll give a shout out to several different people on Instagram that grow my gear, that post pics on the reg. They send me pictures, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, Nettie, at the end of the day, Nettie and Rudy, would be a good one to meet, because I haven't got to meet him face to face yet either.
Right. Actually, he's fixing to see Rudy here in a few weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, we're meeting up at Keefe Canna Fest in Tilton, Illinois.
Oh boy, that's going to be a wild one.
Yeah, you mentioned early bird as well.
Yeah, early bird and Blackwater Grows. Some of the guys I've been on the podcast with, I'd like to meet them face to face. Captain Autoflower, Monster G3. I haven't got to meet them all face to face, but it'd be great to meet up with them.
It would be nice to meet up with all of them as well. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Which event or location would you like to attend with your fellow Gromie? This could be an event that you've never been to before.
Man, I wish it was the 90s and I could rewind time, because, back whenever I was in my early 20s and as a teen, it was always Amsterdam, dude. Everybody's got to get to Amsterdam. It was always all about the cafes and getting to go try Jack Harrer and all this wild Afghan bud and, pre-98 Bubba, all this good shit,
Mm-hmm.
But now, I don't know. Really, I would like to do. I don't think there's really a cannabis event that I want to go to. I would like to have some type of meetup with all the Gromies again. I mean, it doesn't matter where it's at. That'd be the highlight of the year. It'd be it'd be better than any cannabis event. It's the Gromie hangout,
For sure.
Call it that. I mean, I don't know what you want to call it. The meeting of the minds. The meeting of the G's is already taken because all you OG fuckers, but but yeah, it'd be definitely some kind of event where we can all kind of centrally located, where we can come from all over and meet up for maybe 3 or 4 days, 2 or 3 days, just as long as there's something to do. We're out in nature together, whether it's fishing or whatever, just some place where everybody's got something of interest. They can go, if they want to tag off and go explore and go hiking, they can go do that, But then you can always come back to the house and sit around the campfire with all your friends and tell them what you found and what you did for the day.
And pass joints in a circle as we do all this.
That's given. That's a given.
I love that answer, sir. That's a wonderful answer. All right. What's your go-to method to consume cannabis?
My go-to method has been joints. I mean, it's tried and true. It's been there. I'm a flower lover. It's just the way I grew up. I like dabs. I like hash. Don't get me wrong. I love some hash, but man, when it comes to just cannabis, day in, day out, it's smoking the flower, joint wise.
Hell yeah. I mean, same here, brother. I love joints.
Yeah, there's not a high like it. I mean, I used to hit the bong all the time. I mean, I was a heavy bong smoker. My lungs can't really take it all the time.
Right.
And, it only snows scarce around here. So I don't get to pack the bong full of snow as much as I used to when I was a kid. So it's joints. It is. It's the best high you can get for the amount of weed, for sure.
Can I ask you a few questions about joints?
Yeah.
Just like a fellow, because you're a fellow joint smoker. Like, what kind of papers do you use?
Dude, so this goes back to when the wife was doing her medicine, starting out and all that. We started in on the raw cones, and we've got raw cones, and I've tried some other ones, and I don't mind. I really don't mind other cones. I've got the raw, unbleached, unfiltered, just straight papers, and that's what we use. We buy them by the cases. Right. I mean, it's embarrassing in Prohibition land whenever the damn Amazon man that you order I'll either go down to a local smoke shop. I've got a local smoke shop down here, and they sell them pretty cheap. But if they're closed, at times they've been closed to where they was under remodel or whatever, and I couldn't get them, so I had to get on Amazon and order them. And damn Amazon deliverer, he dropped them off of my front doorstep, and it was a big box that said raw all the way down the side of it, and it wasn't in a plain paper box. That was like, great. Now my neighbors know that I've got cones sitting on the front porch. Took a picture of them and sent it to me, email and everything.
Jesus.
I've had a few grow lights come in like that too, where they were blazoned on the outside of the box.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Sucks. I use the OCB, I think it's Naturals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, I'm not quite where you guys are as far as the paper quality and some of the things y'all look into, which I need to get better at that. But yeah, it's been staple for years, been raw cones. The king size, of course, you don't go with the half-assed ones.
Yeah, well, I'm a 1 1/4 kind of fella, but I pack mine so much they look like a cigarette. So I know it's that I think Backwoods Poet mentioned that he was like, "Man, those things are thick."
Well, so I told Backwoods Poet that what was crazy to me, it reminded me of childhood. I gave a term I used back in high school. I said, because he hand rolls everything, right? And I was smoking
Right.
a few. I'm like, damn, son, you roll them hog legs. And that's what they were. They were hog legs, man. I bet you they were better part of 3/8 in diameter, if not a half inch. And they were, this length of the paper is a half-inch cone. It's like, but it wasn't a cone, it was just a joint. It's like, damn.
Right. Heck
Those
yeah.
are 50 cals.
Hell yeah. All right. What's a stoner myth you think is total bullshit?
Stoner myths, total bullshit. I'll tell you, I've been down several of them. The flushing your plants. That could be utter bullshit. The ice on the plants is utter bullshit. That to me is utter bullshit. Who in the fuck ices their plants before they harvest them? Now, if you're out there listening and you've heard this technique, don't fall for the bullshit. Because you got to think, you got to keep in your mind, and that's what I mean by educating people. Don't let logic stray from your sense of direction. If you're sitting there icing the roots, all you're doing is pouring cold water on those roots, and they think the plants are going to develop trichomes overnight. That's a long process to develop trichomes. It just doesn't sprout them overnight. So for you to do that over a 48-hour period, which is 2 solid days, right? 2 24-hour periods, you're icing your plant. You've got it in the dark and you're icing it. You really actually think it's developing trichomes or making it stickier or making it better? All you're doing is freezing the shit out of it. And if it was you, you'd want a warm blanket wrapped around you, but it ain't doing no good but stressing the plant out. And in turn, I don't know if they say the stress brings out more trikes, but you got to really think about, put logic to it. How fast can that plant develop fully mature trikes? You're watching the trikes all the way until maturity, right? You are as a person. You're watching for the cloudiness. You're watching for the amber. That whole time period that you're doing that is in flower right there towards the tail end. It may be a couple of weeks you're watching those trikes and that color maturation. You really think in 48 hours that's going to build a new trike that's going to be cloudy overnight? I mean, I think it's bullshit.
It is. I'm so glad you said that, dude. That one's been bugging the shit out of me for quite some time. I heard from a local growing that somebody said that they boil their roots before they chop the plant. I'm like, why would you torture the plant before you start? What? Why would you do that?
I'll send my harvest down to Guantanamo Bay to get full tortured before we cut them.
Right? What the fuck? Like, where are these stories coming from?
I waterboard my plants before we get full development.
God, it breaks my heart to hear stories like that. I'm like, where's this happening? Why is this happening to people?
Yeah.
Is there a cultivar that you're interested in trying to grow that you've never grown?
Man, there's several. I've got a ton of them. I mean, different gear from different breeders that are reputable, well known, and some of their, some might be some of their unknown strains. Some of the gear that they haven't, didn't hit the syndicate as far as popularity. And it's good gear. I mean, I've been down some of those roads. I've got more seeds than I'll ever grow, but yeah, it's a lot of, and then just the gear from the community, man. I mean, I think I got those seeds from you from OK Calyx, and then Marty gave me some crosses. I want to grow his gear too, dude. I want to try out everybody's gear. I mean, it ain't that it's all it. None of this is about me. I want to try y'all shit, dude. I want to grow it and see what we can all discover together. If we can all we're all in the same boat, man. Trying to make it better at the end of the day.
Right.
So,
dude, let me say something real quick about that. About Marty. I'm glad you brought him up. Back 9 Bandit 420.
Yep.
So those seeds that he gave you, was one of them AK cross with Super Sun God?
Yep. SS.
Grow that.
Okay.
If you haven't started those seeds, start them tonight. Do it on 420, bro. He has those plants going. You need to hit him up like after you get off here or tomorrow, whenever you have time. Obviously, I'm not pressuring you on time here, but
yeah.
You need to have him show you those plants. They look fucking phenomenal right now.
Well, that's what he provided me seeds to. So I hope I come up with something what he's got.
Start them tonight. Start, soaking them, whatever. Like, you need to start those seeds.
Okay. We'll jump on it.
100%. Hell yeah, dude. I'm glad you brought them up. All right. Let's see here. Is there sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
What's your all-time favorite cultivar and why?
My all-time favorite cultivar is probably going to be TKOG. And the reason why is because it helped my wife.
Hell yeah, dude.
Bar none, point blank period. That was the one that helped her gain weight, get over the problems that she was having. And I mean, she was to the point she was on a feeding bag, dude, because she had lost so much weight.
No way.
And from the colitis that she's got, it's a lymphocystic colitis, and nothing, the medicines and shit they were feeding her wasn't doing anything to help her. And she wasn't gaining any weight. Wasn't the food that she was eating wasn't providing her any nutritional value hardly at all. Her body was rejecting everything. And that strain helped turn things around for me and her as far as her health wise. And so to me, that strain holds a special place in my heart. It always will.
Dude, that's a lovely story, dude. I'm so glad you shared it with me and the audience. Who are some of your favorite breeders?
Man, BGG, Alabrije. No, I mean, those two right there, just in the local community, I love those guys. But, outside of them, THC Titan, I like his gear a lot. Robin Hood Genetics. Romulan Genetics is, I mean, I know Cap's big on Rom Scotty. If you can find the Rom Scotty if you can find the right one, it's worth growing. It is. But I think Cap's got some good strains. Lemon Shiv is a good one from him that I've tried. There's several of them out there. Cap's Mac 1 always will go down in history as one of the best. Pink Search from Compound. I like that one. There's a bunch of them, man. I can't just peg one of them. But as far as breeders, man, I like my local homies, man. I mean, I love BGG's gear. I've loved his gear, grown it several times, and I continue to grow it. I've got tons of it. And I'm going to be fired up to George's Root Beer because I've had it, enjoyed it, and it's going in the lineup too. It's going to be grown just for flower, for smoke, and we'll put that in the head stash for sure.
Well, while we're on the subject of BGG, what are some of the cultivars that you've grown that you've really enjoyed?
Funeral Desserts. That's always been a good one. Broken Leg was a good one. He didn't release that one. That was a long time back when he had a leg broken. And me and him's got a mutual friend down south that we talked to, and he did a fundraiser for him. It was a good deal. And so BGG was dabbling in the breeding den, and he sent me out a ton of them, and I've grown them. I love them. I mean, I've got a ton of them to work with. He sent them to me. It's like, hunt through these. If you find something, keep it and breed it. And the same way, I send him seeds too. I mean, it's good to have open relationships with those guys.
Absolutely.
I haven't done a collab with Alabrije, but if you're listening, man, it's an open invitation. Here we go, bro. Let's go down the road. I've got a few I can throw in there that we can mix it up.
Hell yeah, dude. Do you have a favorite cannabis related movies and or TV shows?
Yeah. I mean, my all-time classic, my favorite's Friday, dude. I mean, I've quoted that movie so many times. I mean, it goes beyond speaking how much that's cannabis related to my childhood. I watched Friday every day for God knows how many years.
Oh yeah. It's an awesome movie.
Oh yeah.
All right. If you could have a smoke session with anyone dead, who would it be?
Tupac. Yeah. I like to pick that dude's brain because he was ahead of his time.
He really was.
What he was saying. Yeah. And if you listen to his music and the lyrics, he was way ahead of his time. He was the first guy to bust on the rap scene back then, especially with gangster rap, to throw in some 70s discos as his backbeat, dude. I mean, people don't do that shit. And he rapped to it. And it was so unique and inspiring at the time. And the way his lyrics are wrote, I would like to burn one with that dude just to pick his mind on what he thinks about the world. Because he envisioned a lot of things that we're seeing now. I'll probably catch flack over this one. People out there in the real world probably gonna give me shit. But man, I'd burn one with Ted Kaczynski.
What?
Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber.
I know what you're talking about.
that dude, have you ever read and went down that trail? That's another one. His manifestation.
I've heard bits and pieces, and I've read the letter from his brother.
Yeah. So his mind, where he was at, that dude was a genius. And I'm not saying he was a scapegoat of the government or anything like that, because I believe what he was doing was wrong, which was mailing out bombs and shit like that. I believe that was wrong. But his mindset of him foreseeing that, all of humankind is taken over by technology, basically, let's rewrite the Terminator script. But this shit was happening, and he was writing in his manifesto that you're literally seeing it happen before you. I mean, and he just wanted to isolate himself out in the woods away from nobody, and wanted off the grid, wanted away from everything. So yeah, to burn one with that dude, that would be a wild ride.
100%, dude. All right. It's the same question, but alive.
Edward Snowden.
Edward Snowden.
Yeah. I want to know all the gritty details about all that NSA shit.
Right? Seriously.
Yeah. They didn't all that shit on WikiLeaks. That wasn't the full story.
You're right.
I'd like to burn one with that dude in the embassy somewhere and get the full story on what all he's seen and what was going on.
That's an acceptable answer, sir.
Okay. I know I named criminals and some people that think that, yeah, because Ted Kaczynski is not your role model, but his mind is something to be. He was a genius.
Right.
In his own right.
There's a last question. Do you have a favorite cannabis podcast, and who is it?
I don't have a favorite. I will say the quadfecta of cannabis podcast, or maybe it's pentafecta now, because you're basically branching out on your own. You and Grateful and got Nerd Grows, Cultivation Conversation. I could name them all. Yag. I mean, I listen to all you guys. I listen to when you're on. I listen to you out in my garden inside. I mean, you tune into my ears. You live in my head freely, rent free. So I would say that all of my community podcasts are what I really enjoy. I mean, it's not my community, it's our community as a whole, right? So, I mean, you're part of it. BGG's part of it. Alabrije, Reverend Pirate Frog, all those guys, everybody as a whole. I mean, I give them shout outs, give them props for what they're doing, for promoting it. And I enjoy every time I get on with you guys.
Absolutely, man. It's a great answer. All right. Well, my next segment is Thank a Grow Me. Pretty much every week, I thank a Grow Me in the community. And I encourage you to thank a Grow Me as well in the community. It's a good thing that we're reaching out and talking to each other. I know, being able to do this on the podcast, but some people are not able to do that. Even just getting on Discord, Instagram, or just text message. Just reach out to a Grow Me and thank them.
Yeah, for sure.
Give someone thanks. I mean, the thanks goes a long way. Especially you don't realize people are having hard days, and it's a lot easier when somebody reaches out to you and says something nice.
Oh yeah, the kind words. So when you get kind words given to you, it changes the whole outlook of your day.
Right.
And it a surprise in the morning, right? So, to give a shout out, I want to thank everybody that made it to Hash Bash. Number one, I want to thank all those guys, because y'all extended the utmost gratitude and giving nature that I've ever been part of in a cannabis community. I mean, I was completely floored by the generosity that you guys give. And so I want to give a shout out to you, to, Matt Fratt. I'm trying to think all of them. Marty, we talked about Back Nine, Dad Turbs, Cheese, Badger, man. I love Badger. I love me some Badger. As old as cranky as he is, I mean, at least I wasn't the oldest one there.
Right.
I'm right there underneath him. I mean, I'm holding a close second, but me and Badger are close there together. But yeah, I love me some Badger. He's good people. But yeah, I want to give thanks and shout out to all of them. I mean, the whole community as a whole. Thank all you guys for everything you do. Really, it means the world to me.
Oh yeah, dude, I appreciate that. Since I have you here, I'm going ahead and thank you. Thank you for traveling to Ann Arbor. I mean, I know you did the furthest trek. You said, what was it, 18 hours?
18 and a half hours, yeah.
18 and a half, yeah, dude. I really, really appreciate you doing that. not only that, but I also want to thank you for joining my live podcast. That was my second attempt of a live podcast. And so far, it's been my successful podcast. So I'm super happy about that.
Well, I was so super stoned on that podcast. I don't know if I said 2 words. I sat in the back pretty tore up, man. You guys lit me up.
Right. Well, also, the last thing I'd like to thank is I'd like to thank you for all the support as a mentor within our community. I've truly enjoyed being a tester of your genetics. You've created monster plants with more medicine than anyone can truly imagine. So many sticky trichomes that I had to use 3 grinders, like I told you before. And it's just, I truly appreciate everything that you do for our community. Like you are a goat. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, you really are a goat.
I don't know if I call myself a goat.
You are a goat within a crowd of sheep.
I don't know if I call
dude.
myself that, man. I mean, I'm humbled by that actual thought that you've given me. I mean, I'm severely humbled. I really do appreciate it. You guys make it. The group out there, everybody who grows the gear, you make the community. And without you guys, I don't know if any of it would have been possible. You know, the years back when I first started this and then branching out into a community, really coming out around 2020, started reaching out to some more fellow people. And we all kind of just ended up merging all together and being in these different groups and meeting all of y'all. It is really, really changed my whole outlook on everything as far as legalization across the whole U.S. You know, hopefully one of these days we get past that and we can federally legalize and there can be no stigmatism attached to this plant.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, there's a few other people I'd like to thank out in the community. I also like to thank Strong Island Grower for reaching out, giving the kind words, and also would like to thank the Gromies who have been chatting up on the Nerds Unite voice chat on the Grateful Nerd Discord. We've been on there chatting the last few days.
That's good.
Yeah, this long weekend we had Good Friday off. It seemed like most of us did, so we've been on our Good Friday and Saturday, and then we did 420 for Central Time today on there. So that was pretty neat. I got to experience it with it was Badger, J-Saw, Cheese, Tetrahydra, Cultivist.
Nice.
Yeah, there was a few.
Handful of y'all got together. I wish I'd have got there.
Yeah. Well, the next thing, I have a couple of announcements. We had the winners for the Crew 420 giveaway, and those 3 people are 5-1 Baked, Dinosaur, and Cosmic Conch. And we also did like a last minute 420 Discord exclusive giveaway, and it was Field Desserts from Green Guy, and it was Lil Canny, Lilkanny. So those were the winners of our 420 giveaways.
Congrats, Little Canny.
Right on.
And congrats to the rest of the group there.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm excited about all these giveaways. It's been so much fun giving away stuff to people in the community, because then, you start seeing these people grow in this stuff and it's like, oh, that's awesome,
Well, I don't want, so that's, I freely give my seeds sometimes to people. And I did that up there at the Hash Bash. I did that as a appreciation gift to you guys,
right?
Everybody that was up there. I mean, that's all that was just an appreciation gift. But if anybody, I don't want finances to be a burden for somebody to start learning how to do this. I mean, I've got plenty of freebie packs. So if you're out there in this world and you're listening to this podcast and you got an inkling to want to learn to grow, reach out to me, reach out to BGG, Alabrije. I'm sure we can come up with some seeds that we can give you. If you can't financially afford it, we'll get you started. It don't take, just scratch that itch, and especially if you're a vet, man, hit me up. I'll get you some medicine. We'll get you fixed up. I mean, I love me some veterans, and we wouldn't be doing the things we could do right now if it wasn't for the veterans. So, shout out to all the vets out there. Shout out to all the vets that got some issues that, that aren't put out in the public, the trauma and the things that they've been through in their lives at a young age. They have to come home and nobody's dealing with them, and they got to live with this stuff and try to get acclimated back into society, where this world is completely different from the world they came from. And those guys that have problems adjusting, man, if you're having problems, call somebody, call me, and reach out. If you need somebody to talk to, reach out. Discord. I'm in Discord. I'm in Instagram. Reach out. Paranoid will talk to you. But yeah, if you need medicine or something like that, holler, man. I mean, everything is just a finger touch away or just a voice away. You just got to say, I need some help. And there are enough good people in this community. We're going to figure out what ails you, and we'll be able to provide you some kind of help, some kind of relief to get you going down the right path. So reach out, man. Talk to somebody and get some help.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you said that. You're speaking about veterans. We went to Keefe Canna Fest in September of last year with Back Nine Bandit, 420, and Rooter Alistair. And one of the ladies that works the Keefe event, she actually collects seeds for veterans and gives them to veterans. And so when we were doing our little seed swap in the hotel room, Marty had mentioned, he's like, oh, she's down the hall. We can go ahead and give her some seeds. And I'm like, oh yeah. So I actually gave her some of your seeds that I had in my collection. It was the Mythical Midnight and the Reaper's Raspberry. I donated those to her.
Nice.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, you brought up the veterans. I was like, oh yeah, that was a pretty neat thing.
Well, I'll send you out 2 packs for that. Then I'll send out replacement packs.
Oh, you ain't got to do that. I will.
I will. I want to. I want to. I
Okay.
want you to put those in your stable still because you did something good for somebody else.
Oh no, yeah. Well, I shoot. If I end up seeing her again, I would end up giving her the same seeds again, just because your genetics are so amazing. Like they need to be out with the veterans. So they need that medicine.
Oh yeah, definitely. So are you going back this year?
I'm actually going
in a couple weeks or whatever.
Yeah, on May 17th. Yeah.
So if you find that lady again, hit me up before you go. I'll get you some packs mailed out. We'll get plenty of seeds to give to vets.
Sweet. All right, that'll work. Hell yeah. Thank you so much.
That's word up here on the front on the podcast. I'm dead serious. You hit me up. We'll send out several packs. I'll get you plenty of packs out there to get to the vets.
Hell yeah, dog.
That vent.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet.
Well, speaking of upcoming events, do you have any upcoming events that you're looking forward to, like cannabis or music events?
Looking at a few concerts this year. We haven't landed on anything solid yet. Cannabis events, really trying to get something planned around the idea of all of us doing a meetup again sometime, maybe late summer, maybe fall sometime. It's still talks. We want to get together, and when we get a venue or get something established, then maybe it's going to be just a hangout venue, right? So just come smoke with us type deal. And we'll get it established. We'll make some announcements.
Hell yeah. Well, I got a few, like I mentioned, Keefe Canna Fest on May 17th in Tilton, Illinois. We're actually going to be camping out there. So it's going to be a pretty awesome event. And then the Alabrije pop-up, which had just sold out. It is September 6th, 2025 in Chicago, Illinois. And actually the crew will be there. So I'm actually looking forward to going with Nerd and Grateful.
Nice.
To this event. So
I've already got an event planned that weekend. That's Labor Day weekend. I already had one that I was going to. I'm sad I'm going to have to miss that one, but I'll be down in Oklahoma at that time.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, this is the end of the show, and I was going to go ahead and give you the opportunity to give out your socials.
That's last time I forgot. It was like my socials. Just OutKast Genetics on Instagram. I don't have a Facebook account. Be OutKast OUTKAST _ genetics on Instagram. And I've got a Discord. I just need to renew got a handful of us in there, probably about 50, 60 of us, but I need to renew the link so people can start joining up. But yeah, that's going to be about it for right now. Keeping it caught.
And where can people find your seeds?
I've got a store. It's linked on Instagram. It's at Big Cartel, OutKastGenetics.com. They can find my seeds there and can purchase through the website. If you want to reach out and DM me, then maybe we can work something out. I don't really ship internationally. Try not to. But like I said, Nettie, he's the one exception that I've got over there in Australia that I've had to make exceptions for. But yeah, so just reach out, purchase them through the site. If you want to reach out, DM me, we'll figure something out.
All right. Well, everyone listening and watching, thank you. I hope you're out there having a wonderful time. Thank you, OutKast, for joining the show.
You bet. Thank you for having me.
All right, buddy. Take it easy.
See it.